What's up, guys? Today it is a beautiful day here in Texas, enjoying some good weather. Unfortunately, no track day today, so no track footage for you guys, but I decided I'd do a little review on this WEN inverter generator that I bought to run my Pit Posse tire warmers. So we're gonna do some in-depth testing on the WEN. We'll see decibel levels from certain distances, power output, how much power these tire warmers draw. I've got this little wattage meter here that we're going to plug into the WEN and see how much wattage output you actually need on one of these inverter generators to run some tire warmers. So before we get into all these tests, I just want to show you one super sick modification I went ahead and made on my generator. So this is a tach. It'll tell you also total runtime. You can put service schedules in here, you name it, but I've got this wired in. It's wrapped around the spark plug wire inside. So when it comes to taking care of stuff, I'm pretty OCD. So you best believe this generator is gonna be getting oil changes right on schedule. So first things first, I gotta do a sick walk around for you guys on this thing. All right, here we go. First crank. Haven't started this thing up in probably a month plus. See how she sounds. So we've got the choke all the way in, letting her warm up real quick. Got it on full power. Eco mode is not turned on. Just want to get it warmed up before I plug anything into it to draw some power off of it. I think it's worth noting, I had not cranked this thing in well over a month and it started first pull. So very impressive from the WEN. We're currently idling at about 4,800 RPM, just purring. Not too loud. I mean, I'm having to shout a little bit, but I'm also standing like a foot away from the exhaust, so pretty bearable. Like I said, we're at full pin right now. This is everything it's got, but we have nothing plugged into it, so we're about to put it into eco mode. But before we do so, I'm gonna go ahead and plug the watt meter in. We're gonna put it into the top plug here. There we go. This is going to allow us to see just how much power each one of these tire warmers is pulling. These are fully adjustable temp tire warmers, got a front and a rear. I'm about to show you how much they pull. We'll set the tire warmers at 180 degrees Fahrenheit just to see what it does. Now that we're all warmed up, we're gonna go into eco mode, which will allow that idle to drop substantially. There you go. So much quieter, much lower fuel consumption. You can take a look at our RPMs here. It does hunt a little bit, I've noticed. This is 0% ethanol fuel that I'm running in here. I think it's just without a load, it's gonna hunt just a little bit. So that's what we're looking at. We are currently 10 feet away from the generator. I've got my decibel meter on my phone. Take a look here. I'd say we're about 69, 70 average decibel, 10 feet away on eco mode with zero load. This is with eco mode off. Again, nothing is plugged in, zero load, just idle with eco mode off. Take a look at the decibel meter. About 76 decibels, still pretty quiet, all things considered. So let's add some load to it and see what kind of sound levels we're looking at. So before we test decibel levels at 10 feet away with both tire warmers plugged in, I wanted to first show you how much power draw there is from each one of these tire warmers. So To run both warmers, I run this with eco mode off, just because per the manual, if you're drawing that much power, you shouldn't be in eco mode. However, with just one warmer plugged in, you're good with eco mode. So with the front warmer plugged in, temp is set at 180 on the warmer. We're at 373 watts of drawn power. That has us in eco mode idling at about 3,300 RPM. Here is the digital interface. So current temp is 78. I've got it set on 180. You can see that here. You can adjust Fahrenheit, Celsius, all that's very easy to use. These are already cooking. So that is the front warmer. Let's try the rear. All right, rear warmer is on and set at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Same deal. Current temp, set temp, already putting out tons of heat here. Power consumption's dropped down a little bit from that initial bit. Take a look at the RPMs here. We're at about 3,500 RPMs, and that is from the rear tire warmer. So we're back at about 10 feet out. This is eco mode, one warmer plugged in. This is the rear warmer, about 560 watts of draw. 3,500 RPM. Take a look at the decibels. Once the warmers get running a little bit, consumption drops quite a bit. We're at about 490 watts. This again is for the rear. All right, so now we've got both warmers on here. We are running eco mode off. We are at full rip, 4,800 RPMs. Let's get a decibel reading. All right, 10 feet out again. This is eco mode off, both warmers plugged in. Pretty quiet at 10 feet away. So both warmers are off. We are back in eco mode, kind of letting her cool down from running at full pin. So one of my favorite features with the WEN is you've got this fuel off option. So if you rotate this to fuel off, that will run all the fuel out of the carb bowl. So if you're gonna put it away for storage, this is a great feature to use. While that's winding down, running out the last of the fuel in the carb, per the manual, WEN suggests running these things about once a month for 30 minutes or so, just to kind of keep them in good order. This is the original oil. Of course, I'm running Mobil 1 full synthetic, just best of the best. Nothing but the best for the WEN. Once this thing completely winds down, what I like to do if I'm going to store it away for a while is, and I'll show you guys, you pull the side cover off over here, and it's just 4 screws, and then you can actually open up the drain screw on the bottom of the carb bowl and just flow everything out that's left in the fuel tank. That way you don't have anything in there for long-term storage. So now that it has run itself out of fuel, we are going to take the side case off, and then we're going to entirely drain the fuel tank. So since we're going to store this away for a little while, we're going to go ahead and drain all the fuel out. So step 1, go ahead and turn fuel to on to allow it to flow through here. And lastly, all you got to do is unscrew the drain screw, just like so. Crack that open. There we go. The fuel is flowing. So we will let that drain and store it away. And that's it. I always run ethanol-free gas in the generator, and I highly suggest you do the same. I like to drain it out if I'm not using it, just like so. So once it runs dry, we are good to go. And then my last step is to turn that back to off, and then turn the fuel cap to off so that there is no airflow there as well. And just in case you want to see, there is my little coil wrap on the spark plug. That is for the makeshift hour counter and tack that I put on there. That is it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Again, this is the WEN 2350 watt inverter generator. It is a model 56235i. Just some information about it. I hope you can read that. If not, rated wattage is 1900 watts, surge wattage is 2350. It's a gallon fuel capacity. It weighs only 39 pounds.